Welcome back to Faith Stewardship and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley. With Insurance for Texans, we help church leaders protect their people, property, and purpose with clarity, confidence, and steady stewardship. As we wrap up our Thanksgiving week series today, we are focusing on gratitude for the things to come. Protecting your church's future starts with understanding the digital world in which we live and how it affects your ministry. If you're like most people, you have probably received at least one notice this past year stating that your personal information had been exposed in a data breach. It has become so common that it barely surprises anyone anymore. But here's the shift that caught my attention and should catch yours as well. Recent studies show that nearly half of all cyber attacks now target small businesses and organizations instead of large corporations. This means that Texas churches are not immune from the dangers within the digital world. Small organizations have become targets not because they are wealthy or high profile, but because they store valuable personal data and aren't prepared to defend it. This realization provides an opportunity to make some changes in order to build a stronger future for your ministry. One of the greatest blessings that has come from starting this podcast is hearing from churches that say, "We didn't know what we didn't know, but after listening to your advice, we are now better equipped." This is something that I am grateful for. Throughout the first 40-plus episodes of Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, we have seen how the challenges come, but with the proper preparation, they don't have to weaken your ministry. Preparing your ministry for the future is not about fear. It's about faithful stewardship of the mission that God has given you. One of the ways to protect your church's future is to understand how living in this digital age affects your church's ministry. Think about it. Your church does more in cyberspace than you may think. From digital giving records, online communications, live streaming systems, volunteer databases to counseling notes that are stored electronically, your church members' personal information is vulnerable to cyber attacks. None of these threats existed decades ago, but now it is an issue that no one can afford to ignore. Protecting your digital systems is an opportunity for your church to show good stewardship in action. God has entrusted you with people to protect, resources to manage wisely, and information to safeguard. Your ministry deserves a secure foundation for the future. In addition to the proper cyber liability insurance, your church can decrease the chance of attacks by safeguarding your digital information. Simple things like strengthening passwords and access controls, training staff to recognize suspicious emails, and backing up important data go a long way to keep your church out of the news. In addition, you should create internal policies for technology use and review how your giving and communication platforms store data. These are relatively inexpensive fixes that could potentially save your church valuable resources in the future. As we wrap up this week of thankfulness, I want you to remember a few things about gratitude. It isn't passive. It prepares, protects, and builds for the future. Your church's future is worth safeguarding, both online and otherwise. Our church insurance team is here to help. Visit insurancefortexans.com to connect with a church insurance specialist who can help you protect your church now and into the future. And if you haven't ordered a copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, now is the time to get your copy by going to thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith Stewardship and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches, wishing your church ministry staff a restful Thanksgiving week. Until next time, remember, gratitude is not just for today, but also for the future that God has entrusted to you.